The Falcons are 3-7 with no quarterback and no first-round pick. It's less than ideal in Atlanta. Michael Penix Jr. was actually having maybe the best game of his NFL career prior to getting hurt, and this was the problem that plagued him back to his college days. This guy was often hurt, big-time injuries, missing big chunks of the year. You were hoping he was going to be able to stay healthy at the NFL level, but once again, the injury bug rears its ugly head. And the Falcons now don't have Michael Penix Jr. or really any quarterback, Kirk Cousins, whatever, his contract at least, for 2025. And then maybe no Penix for all of 2026 either. So you have no first-round pick. You traded up for James Pierce with the Rams, who are now looking to cash in with that becoming a top 10 pick. This is kind of a weird spot for Atlanta. Terry Fontenot, the general manager, has to go. Raheem Morris is a bad head coach. I think he's a great defensive coordinator. We've seen that. He's not a very good head coach. It's bad clock management. It's bad decision-making constantly. It's not hard to see with this Falcons team. They have talent, but will they ever be able to put it together? It doesn't seem like it right now. But now that we've talked about the bad, it's important to also think about some of the good and about even some of the great. Bijan Robinson, of course, one of my favorite players in the league. Hook 'em. Texas legend. Great NFL player. Fantastic. I mean, really one of the best running backs in the league. Top 2 or top 3 at the worst. Jonathan Taylor maybe is a better downhill runner. Offensive line is significantly better in Indianapolis. But Bijan's ability to make you miss in a phone booth is incredible. I think it's not the 20 or 25 yard plus runs with Bijan Robinson that are impressive. That's, a Jonathan Taylor type of thing, where he can get open and then his speed, his ability to just get downhill is super impressive. But Bijan's east-west ability to turn a 0-yard run or a negative play into 3 or 4 or 7 or 8 or 6 or 7, very impressive. Sorry about that. But Bijan, obviously an incredible talent, and having a running back is actually really valuable in Madden Sim. So I think this team could be in a pretty decent position. Michael Penix Jr., we don't have the injury playing a factor, so I guess we're just going to try and develop him. Michael Penix is tough because, to me, he's the same player that he was at Washington, which is hot and cold a little bit. He's got a big-time arm. I don't even think 92 throw power serves it correctly. I don't think it does it justice. He's got a cannon, but he'll make the most impressive throw you've ever seen and then completely airmail the target down the field or underneath. The down-to-down accuracy is just super inconsistent, and he'll have great games. He'll have sometimes not so great games, but you're looking for more consistency out of him. We want to put a better offensive line in front of him. It's not awful, but it could obviously be better. And then at receiver, there needs to be more. Drake London is, in my opinion, a bona fide superstar type of receiver. Outside of that, I mean, I love Darnell Mooney, money with 2 O's. You could do a little bit better for wide receiver too, and definitely need a third option in there. Kyle Pitts no longer is a superstar or superstar X Factor player in this game. He's still only 24 years old. He's still an incredible athlete. I don't really have any desire to get rid of Kyle Pitts. We'll have to see what happens, but the potential, I think, is at least there in Madden, and that's kind of where we're living, so we got to focus on that. After trading up and spending a first-round pick on James Pierce, he is absolutely going to start, and Jalen Walker is already becoming quite a nice player for this Atlanta Falcons team. Jalen Walker's a beast, and you saw it at Georgia. It was just going to be, how does he develop at the next level? And so far, he's developing quite nicely. Have Xavier Watts at strong safety. Jesse Bates is a beast. A.J. Terrell is a monster. But really, this defensive line needs to be improved. Ruka Rororo is young at least. Right? Brandon Dorless is young and I think could have potential. So I'm excited to see what this team can become. Just not every young player will develop. So we got to get these guys reps. Zach Harrison's at what? Probably like 26 right now. He's only 24? Wow. Well, I don't know if I want to develop him. I mean, there is something here But I imagine we're going to make a lot of tweaks. Arnold Ebiketie probably will be traded for me. Mike Hughes looks like he's about to cry, probably because he plays in the Falcons. That's tough. Billy Bowman's kind of a beast. I mean, there are a lot of good, young, fun players on this team, but I just don't know how impactful they're going to be in Madden. Training camp's going to come in big. I didn't really talk very much about Tyler Algier. I know fantasy owners don't love it. You know, if you have Bijan, and I have Bijan, but Tyler Algier is a good running back, man. Really like him as a player. He's a great short yardage power back. He's a nice change to Bijan Robinson, who, again, is obviously a stud and would be fine without Tyler Algier. Like, there's no question about that. But I think Algier is a good football player. We'll see if he has a chance to start. He's going to be a free agent pretty soon. We're going to let him go in our Falcons rebuild here. But in real life, he might end up doing a little something. We'll see. Everyone always asking me about the draft classes. I just do the auto-generated. If you jump into a particular week, you will get the auto-generated class for that week. If you just jump in from the start of the season, it's an actual random one. So that's what we're dealing with here. And I'm going to tell you, quarterback is not absolutely out of the question. I'm not going to go out of my way to get one. I want to try and develop Michael Penix. But, you know, people want to try a lot of things, right? So, this is Michael Vick, by the way. Strong-arm Virginia Tech quarterback. He's not right-handed. I guess Michael Vick is not right-handed, but I don't know. Maybe he's got 4.3 speed. But, yeah, we're going to try to develop Michael Penix. If we can't, and the strength of this class is quarterback, we may find ourselves in a position where we try to upgrade. The really fun thing about this team, I would say, are the young edge rushers, though. You traded a first to get James Pierce, but and I get how the trade-up worked. It wasn't exactly that, but it's going to end up being a top 10 pick, it looks like. So, basically, you traded your first-round pick in 2026 to get James Pierce. That's just easiest way to say that. It's a lot, but these edge rushers are really, really athletic. Jalen Walker is a freak athlete. James Pierce has even better straight line speed. After training camp, he's going to be up to a 79 overall. He's got 90 speed, 92 acceleration. I know this is cliche, but you just can't teach that. So we should be set on edge rusher for the future. And I also think there's a scenario, I don't know that we're going to do it, but there is a scenario where we just decide to play Jalen Walker off the ball. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a possibility. I actually think this team's going to perform okay in simulation. Maybe not so much in year one, but I think down the line, this team's going to be very, very good and soon. That's my expectation. We'll see if that comes to be true, but we shall see. This is how we're going to set things up, and James Pierce revealed to have star dev. I'm sure Jalen Walker's going to have it as well. David Onyemata probably will get traded for me. That might happen at the deadline. I know the deadline in real life has passed, but here in video game land, you got to forget about all that. And Jordan Fuller probably will be joining him. If I can get a day 2 pick back for both of those guys in the same trade, that would be ideal. No guarantee that that's going to happen. Ebiketie is going to get moved as well. We'll simulate to week 3 or so. We can do regional focus scouting. And I'll see you guys at the midseason mark. All right, wide receiver is going to be our focus position. We are 0-6. Not a very good start. You think you might want your first round pick when that's the case. I do want to bring Kyle Pitts back. And I think we need to kind of reevaluate what we think about him as a player, because he just has not turned into this superstar. It's really tough, I think, for a tight end to be a superstar, offense carrying type of player. And Kyle Pitts has just not been that. He's not Brock Bowers, right? Even though at the time we thought this is pre-Brock Bowers, I guess, but we thought that's what Kyle Pitts would become. He's 24 years old, star dev, 80 overall. I'd like to sign him to an extension. And Kyle Pitts is back. Algier's got to walk, which means we're going to trade him. Ebiketie, Fuller, Caden Ellis, David Onyemata, or Onyemater, I think I heard him say on Sunday Night Football. Those guys need to get traded. Anything that we can get back would be much appreciated. Says defensive tackles our biggest team need. We're about to trade our best one. Okay, trade accepted. It's Onyemata, Leonard Floyd, Jordan Fuller, a 4th next year and a 6th this year for a 2 and a 3 from the Chargers. That's currently projected to be the 31st pick in the draft. You know, scale that through the 2nd and 3rd. So, second to last pick in each round is a nice way to say that when there are no comp picks in Madden. So, we do add a couple of day 2 picks. I like that. Still looking to get rid of some of these expiring contracts. Ellis and Tyler Algier should have a pretty good amount of value. I don't think we're going to get a first-round pick back. Dax Hill would actually be awesome. I typically just trade for picks, but I might consider trading for a player here. Well, this is a pretty good trade for us. Caden Ellis, Tyler Algier, Arnold Ebiketie, a 3rd and a 5th in the future for Dax Hill and a 2. That's a good trade for us. We gave up some, some picks long-term, and obviously a lot of players. We gave up a lot of players. I'm not going to discount that. But getting Dax Hill to me was as good as any player that we could have acquired in that trade. I get why he is less valuable here. He's 3 years into his contract. I'm a big Dax Hill fan. I loved him as a prospect. He snuck into the 1st round. So we will have a decision to make with him with the 5th-year option. But I'd like to keep Dax Hill around. I really would. He's a scheme fit. He's young. The name of the game for these Madden rebuilds is get young talent. And that's actually kind of the name of the game in real life as well. Get young talent. Get guys you can develop. Get guys that can become stars for cheap. That's the thing, because let's just put it this way. A 23 or 24-year-old, 2 or 3 years into his NFL contract, who is an 80 overall type of player, is so much cheaper than a veteran playing on their 2nd contract who's a 79 or 80 overall. So getting guys who can be good within that 1st contract, so valuable. Obviously, Dax Hill's coming to the end of that, but get draft picks, draft players that you can really develop, and I'm doing a lot of work on defensive tackle in this draft. All of our scouts are out there looking at defensive tackle, so I can't guarantee that Brandon Dorless and Ruka Rororo will be starters next season. It's a possibility, obviously, but we'll see what happens. I'm not committing to anything right now, just letting you guys know, kind of peek behind the curtain about my philosophy and strategy here with this Falcons rebuild and really all rebuilds. As Michael Penix is developing quite nicely. Go into improviser, try to make him a bit more well-rounded, throw under pressure, throw on the run, that type of thing. And he could be the guy. But I think there's also a chance we trade, move on, and look at a QB. Now, that's probably working against me because, we have the quarterback who's young enough, a good enough overall, good enough dev trait. We don't necessarily need to go out and trade him to get a different quarterback, but I don't know. I just feel like based on what's happening in real life, it might not be a bad idea to kind of think about things from a fresh start perspective. Anyway, we're going to simulate to, week 13, do focus scouting players, and maybe pick up our first win. I don't really mind losing, though, because even though the Rams have our 1st round pick, we're still going to pick really high in the 2nd round and in the 3rd round, and we could potentially even use those picks to trade up. I don't think this team roster development, or roster-wise, is that bad. Like, there's a decent amount of talent. It's just, finding the finishing pieces. Like, is this the guy, Nick Tomlinson from BYU? Got a lot of A's all over the place. It's just, how are we ever going to find ourselves in position to take a quarterback here? That's kind of the thing. And we really shouldn't go out of our way to make it happen. Is this Michael Vick? All right, he's going to have to be a focus player. If we can draft Michael Vick back to the Falcons, I'm going to do it. I'm telling you. Sorry, Michael Penix. Sorry, realism. I won't have a choice. You understand? I won't have a choice. The storyline, the title of I drafted the next Michael Vick, it's too good. I'm not going to look at tight end here. Ooh. Glenn Faulkner, by the way, the #1 player, looks like a #1 type of player. Elite to great athlete all over the place. A grading for all of his core attributes, it seems. Tennessee, so we can team him back up with James Pierce. I don't think it's going to happen. We just don't have picks here. We just don't. Well, 4-13 was our final record. Don't think that's going to let us sneak into the playoffs. Michael Penix was an interception machine. 25 touchdowns to 22 picks. Bijan played well enough. Need to get him more attempts, but it's tough when you're probably losing a lot of these games. Leading receiver, Darnell Mooney. Drake London, a bit of an afterthought. Kadarrell Hodge had 8 touchdowns. I mean, we are all ass backwards here. TFLs, 15 for Brandon Dorless, 14 for Jalen Walker, 12 for James Pierce. Walker was very close to double-digit sacks. This may be Defensive Rookie of the Year type stuff. I thought, honestly, James Pierce played well enough. Sacks aren't always a good indication of whether or not you're getting pressure and doing your job as a pass rusher. Obviously, you want to finish plays, but he could still be playing well with only 3 sacks on the year. That's a possibility. Got some upgrades here over the course of the year. We'll see what, dev trait changes occur, but obviously not a playoff team, and we're never going to be. But we will reevaluate in the offseason, see if we want to try to add some talent through free agency, but of course, the draft will be really important, and I've got to decide if we have a chance to draft the next Michael Vick, because if we do, and that's why am I saying the next Michael Vick, Virginia Tech, elite arm, elite speed. If that's the case, it's just going to happen. Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl. Sounds about right. Well, I mean, maybe not this year. The Chiefs aren't even like that. Dart, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Oladejo, Defensive Rookie of the Year. But for the AFC, still could have something there as Kobe Turner went Super Bowl MVP. Could still have something there with Jalen Walker. We shall see what the upgrades have to say. We have a ton of points here for Jalen Walker. I'm sure he won Defensive Rookie of the Year, but it didn't happen. It did not happen. Still star development. Great year, but there can only be one Defensive Rookie of the Year for the NFC here in Madden, and it was not Jalen Walker. Very good rookie year, though. Something to build off of. Bijan, 5th-year option. He's going to be expensive at any time. Might as well just pick that up. D. Alford has had some great seasons in the past for a slot corner. Maybe great seems to be a bit of a stretch, but some really good seasons. It's just not going to happen this time around. Still have another year on Dax Hill as Ryan Kelly and Aaron Rodgers hang up the cleats. Let's see what we can do in free agency. We do see some draft stories here. Demetrius Watts at offensive tackle could be a pick for us. Definitely not drafting a running back here, especially not after seeing these draft stories. A fullback was a top performer. All of the draft stories are negative, besides the one for the fullback, Geo Chisholm. All right. Show me this quarterback. Let's react in real time. He is a round 1 talent. He is a round 1 talent. Kind of a rarity at quarterback. He ran 4.48 with elite throw power. He's only 21 years old. That is 5 years younger at this point than Michael Penix Jr. Guys, how do we move up? Where is he expected to go? Number 4. Oh, there's no way we're going to be able to move up that far. We have no first-round pick right now. We're the Rams. Number 3. Oh, boy. I know people are going to want to see me build with Michael Penix, but I don't know. In real life, he's not going to play through the rest of 2025 or 2026, probably. I don't know. It could make sense to go out and get a quarterback. In real life, the Falcons will need to get a quarterback for 2026. They will need to. That doesn't mean spending a top pick on one necessarily. I'm not saying the Falcons should draft a QB in round 2 this year, but they'll need to get a QB somehow. And this might be my somehow. Trade up everything. It's going to be nearly impossible. Ooh, Nakobe Dean back to Georgia. That's a fun storyline. He's from Mississippi, but obviously a great Georgia Bulldog. I've offered Leo Chanel. We will not be getting him. I'd like to get a backup running back as well. 2 B. Robinsons. It's a little bit confusing. Maybe Elijah Mitchell. 2-year deal. It's not really a ton of money, but see if we can get him for even cheaper. We need a kicker and a punter. Could just draft those guys. And they're really good kickers and punters in every draft class, it seems. So that's definitely an option for us, as we have signed Nakobe Dean and Elijah Mitchell. Nakobe Dean's the big one. That's a new starting inside linebacker. Nakobe Dean, by the way, in real life, is becoming a monster. And he was a monster at Georgia. Maybe isn't even that shocking. But I don't think we need to do a whole lot more. Okay, there have been some complications. Storm Norton retires. Jake Matthews retires. I didn't even talk about the Kirk Cousins contract, but he is retired. We need a left tackle now. That complicates things a little bit. Taylor Moton's going to the Chargers. I don't think we would have offered him anyway. Braxton Jones. Is that what we're looking at right now? I guess. Illuminor, maybe? We can overpay Braxton Jones just to see if we can get him. It's a 2-year contract. We're not being tied down there. And he should really sign that. That's a really good offer. And Braxton Jones is an Atlanta Falcon. We also need an upgrade on the interior offensive line. The options are not amazing. Austin Corbett could play center. Maybe we'll try that. Again, just we can overpay for a year or two. Still look to draft and replace, but for right now, we need somebody that can start. And Austin Corbett is somebody that can start. And he has signed as well. So we got some Band-Aids, trying to keep the offensive line fairly good after losing Jake Matthews. That's a tough one to overcome. Still have Caleb McGarry. Michael Penix could be the big trade piece if we wanted to move up. That's an option. How mad are you going to be if I do it? You're just going to have to trust me. I don't know that it's going to happen for sure, but Penix will have some value. I know that. And in real life, I don't know if you can count on him. I'm just saying. Matthew Bergeron played tackle at Syracuse. Maybe I should have considered kicking him out instead of signing Braxton Jones. But we signed Braxton Jones, so it's not even something we need to talk about right now. Corbett is going to play center. He's done it before. I can almost guarantee. So that's going to be that. Doesn't look that bad. Mock Draft 5. Yeah, Ben Glover is going to be a Jet. Unless we reacquire our first-round pick. I'm telling you, it might just have to be done. This guy is different. He's a different level of talent. Oh, no! Trouble in paradise. Nico Collins really wants the Texans to go out and get a quarterback in the draft. Yikes. You imagine if he said that in real life? Well, the Texans are back at number 1. They've had this pick quite a few times, actually. David Carr, their first year as an expansion team. Mario Williams in that 2006 draft. And have they had it since then? I don't think so. They had 2 and 3 after getting CJ Stroud and trading up for Will Anderson. Quite a haul. Has anyone else been the number 1 pick? I really don't think so. But maybe I'm forgetting somebody. Here we go. Starting the draft, the Texans at 1 go Glenn Faulkner. I think he looks to be an insane defensive tackle prospect. Commanders at 2 go Austin Walters. And then you have the Rams at 3. They could be in the market for a quarterback. I'm just going to see. Quarterback is their number 1 need. They have our pick. We have 35, 50. We could obviously tempt them with a future one. Will you give me a first-round pick for Michael Penix and 50? Not close. That's fair. That is fair. What if I threw in a first next year? Not that close. Oh, man. All right. Listen, you only live once. Remember when that was a popular saying? We're making a huge trade here. I think it's going to be worth it. Michael Penix Jr., they can deal with the injuries. We're not dealing with it. Rook, and also his season this year was so bad in Sim. 25 touchdowns, 22 picks. Are you kidding? Or something like that. It was awful. Ruka Roro. You're traded Caleb McGarry, a first next year. So again, we won't have our first round pick. We'll probably end up trading back for it with the Rams, I'm sure. A second rounder this year and a third this year. And the second round pick is not 50 or 56 this year. It's 35. So we gave up a ton to move up. Is that redundant? Did I say move up twice? A lot of round one players that we know about. But I think this guy is just different. 21 years old, strong arm archetype out of Virginia Tech. B deep accuracy, not very bad. A medium, B short, B throw under pressure. Physically, ran 4.41 at his pro day. Elite speed, elite jumping, elite throw power. I just don't think I've seen this type of archetype at quarterback. A to B juke move, A throw in the run. The guy is just different. He's just different. Ben Glover, the next Michael Vick on the field, hopefully. We got to really look into his extracurricular activities, if you want to call it that. Ben Glover is our selection. Where is he? He's ranked number 7. He was a high school pitcher. Excels at mid-range throws, quick processing. He's got hidden dev. 96 throw power, 90 speed. 88 acceleration, 87 agility, 88 change of direction. I traded a significant amount to get Ben Glover. I hope it's worth it. We'll simulate to our next pick. It's not until 50 or so. Right at 50, I believe. And here we are. AJ Burnett got picked. Old Yankee pitcher. That's an interesting one. Also, did I say Trevor Richard? Trevor Ricard. Trevor Richards is another baseball pitcher. Ooh, all of my favorites have been drafted. Well, that's actually not so bad. Eric Gibson looks great for potential UDFA, by the way. He will be drafted by me. We could use linebacker. Same thing about Eddie Feliciano. Where did all the defensive tackles I like go? They're just gone. They're just gone. Is anyone else even draftable in here? Like, I mean, the A finesse moves, you just can't get fooled by those guys. You need the more well-rounded nose tackles like Desmond Windsor and Wayne Wilkerson. We've got day 3 picks where we can be good, but I'm trading out of the second round twice. Who wants to give me a first round pick next year? Somebody does. We'll find them. Also, I traded Caleb McGarry to get it done. I mean, we traded everything to get our quarterback of the future. Oh, boy. It had to happen. I mean, it didn't have to, but it did happen. Give me... Can I get a 1 next year? And I'd like a 4 this year. I'd even like a 3. I would do that in a heartbeat. It's not going to happen. Okay, that's our trade. 2 second-round picks this year and a 6th next year. We're getting a first from Chicago next year, so we are in the first round next year now. A 4th and a 7th this year. I just didn't really think the day 2 value was very good. So, again, we make the trade of the draft here in 2026. And it's a huge gamble. I'm hoping it's going to pay off, but this looks to me like a generational type of quarterback prospect. Give me Eddie Feliciano, 6'3", 230, linebacker out of Auburn. I think a chance to start for us right away. He's ranked at 133. We got him at 99. Normal dev, good athlete, but that's about it right now. We need a tackle. Eric Costa's here. Right tackle. It's unfortunately a plug and play. He's not that great, but he can pass block a little bit. We need somebody to play right tackle. Eric Costa's ranked at 190. We got him at 128. We really knew he was not going to be that good, but he was one of the top tackles available, and he was pretty good in pass pro. Don't want to let Eric Gibson go. Don't want to let him get drafted. Supposed to go undrafted, but he's got elite acceleration, elite speed, A hit power, A tackle, B zone coverage. This is a good player. Eric Gibson is 100% the pick here. Ranked at 105, got him at 195. Normal dev, but a very good athlete. He can play. I will say the kickers in this draft do not actually look very good. Hoping to find a really good punter. Not really finding them. Hey, well, all the nose tackles I wanted have been drafted. The guys I pointed out earlier are gone. So, Devontae Winslow will be the pick. He is average everywhere, but that's good enough to be a quality pick on day 3, late in the draft. Overall, it was not the best draft for us, to be honest. We traded up a ton to go get the quarterback, but as I said, I think that this team is actually closer than you might think. I feel like the offensive line is pretty good. Obviously, a big hole at right tackle now. Glover is a 78. That is a super high starting overall for a QB, and after training camp, he's going to be insane. Might want to go out and sign a right tackle. But defensively, it's tough to point to too many flaws. Because Nakobe Dean, we got in free agency, is really good. Divine Diablo, star dev, good. Edge rushers are really good. Secondary looks really good. Jesse Bates is down from X Factor. The D-line is bad. I totally get that. I was hoping to do a bit better there, but it just didn't happen. And this is our draft class. A lot of 67 to 70 rated players, except for the prized crown jewel, our next Michael Vick. The accuracy's already quite good. The athleticism's crazy. The arm talent is insane. Was it worth it to go move up for him when we had Michael Penix? Well, he's significantly younger, and he's, I honestly would say, better right now, based on the arm and the speed, the athleticism. The one thing Penix has is short throw accuracy, and Glover's going to be above that in the not-too-distant future. This year, Faulkner was an 81, a couple of good edge rushers at the top of the draft, and then Ben Glover was actually a top 5 talent. Tied for it with, of course, the fullback Gio Chisholm and Christian Stallings, who is really good. Were there any sick defensive tackles down the board that we missed out on? Probably so. Wayne Wilkerson was definitely a name I talked about. He has hidden dev. That would have been a nice pick. He went just before we could take him. Rams got a good one in Devon Rich at the end of the 7th round. Guess we missed him. I mean, I swear I was looking. Sometimes I do miss some of the better players, but also I missed Bryce Hancock. Apparently he was a pretty good rookie kicker. Just didn't have great kick power, and typically I look for that, but he's an 80 overall, so that's our kicker. We just didn't spend a draft pick on him, and we'll also bring in Jake Bailey because we need a punter. Jake Bailey will work. It's serviceable. Let's get Big Mo Hurst in the mix. We'll sign Maurice Hurst. We need some more depth in a lot of these positions because we traded some guys away. We obviously need to go out and get a right tackle that's better than what we just drafted. Don't really want that guy starting. DJ Humphries was unsigned. Thought about offering on him in the actual free agent period, but this actually works better. Let's also bring McCall Hardman back to Georgia as well. We got Brandon Cooks. We need more just talent at receiver in general. Just didn't happen this past season, obviously. But I'm excited about Ben Glover, man. I know it seemed crazy to go do what I just did, but this is our next Michael Vick. Got Trey Lance back in Falcons franchise, by the way. It was meant to be. Remember Falcons franchise on the channel? Ooh, 33 awareness is pretty good, huh? Mid-season mark, we are 4-3. Obviously significantly better than last season, but gotta remember, we still don't have a first-round pick. Ben Glover is playing up to an 87 overall. He's only got star dev, unfortunately. Was hoping for a bit higher than that. But he's already significantly better than Michael Penix Jr. Significantly. So I feel justified in going up to get our franchise quarterback. I think he's got a generational set of skills. We should change his name to Liam Neeson. Although Ben Glover is totally the name of a character Liam Neeson could play in a movie. One of those shitty ones that just comes out and then they give him the whitest name ever. I think I saw one recently that takes place in, like, could have been the Netherlands, and he's like Matt Caldwell or something. That's like the backup Texas quarterback, but it's something like that. Plays Brian Mills in Taken, Michael McCauley in The Commuter, Travis Block in whatever Blacklight is, Qui-Gon Jinn is maybe a different one in Star Wars. But you get the point. It's all names like this. Martin Harris, Alex Lewis, Jim Hansen, Ra's al Ghul. I mean, they're all like this. You'll notice I am not bold enough to make a Schindler's List joke because there's nothing funny about that. So, I'm going to leave that alone. Let's check out the numbers at least. So this is what Ben Glover looks like. Kind of insane. This is his rookie season at 21 years old. The stats currently back up that he's been pretty good. 1,700 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, rating over 100. Also has 2 rushing touchdowns. And maybe we will, move to a playbook that kind of features a more mobile quarterback. Of course, even though quarterback was their number one need, Matthew Stafford is still the starter. So, Michael Penix, currently the backup starter in waiting. Hey, looks great. What a player. But we've got the next Michael Vick. I'll say anything to rationalize this. No, but I really think it's true. I know we traded so much to get him. There can be an argument that we set the franchise back slightly, but what is there to set back from? It was a 4-win team in 2025 without a first-round pick. I know we moved up a lot to get him, and maybe we could have had a similar result to this point, 4-3, with Michael Penix Jr. There's no question. But sometimes you got to make a move for the good of the franchise long-term, and I felt like we did that. Try to keep a great receiving threat for Ben Glover. It's going to take paying Drake London. It's a lot of money, about $30 million per year, but Drake London is back. Jesse Bates, still wanting to get paid an incredible amount of money. And I would for 3 years. Don't really want to get attached for much longer than that. And Jesse Bates is back. Divine Diablo's 28. Matthew Bergeron, we absolutely want to keep. He's starting to get pretty good, which means he's expensive. And he wants a little bit more money to back up that he's not that interested in being here. Darnell Mooney is going to be a free agent. Clark Phillips, I think I'd like to keep. You can draft a comparable player, but he's only 24 years old. That's the thing. That's why it's such a big difference in drafting a 21-year-old versus a 24-year-old. At the end of that first contract, one guy is about ready to get out of the NFL, and the other guy could be reaching his prime. But not particularly interested in a lot of players that are here. And Bryce Hancock is the kicker that we picked up. Picked up Foster Moreau as a backup tight end. Diablo, I think, is a trade candidate right now, and Darnell Mooney really as well. Maybe not J.D. Bertrand, but I think Eric Gibson could be ready for more playtime if Divine Diablo's traded. Final year of his deal, I just think we could get something back for him. Like, hey, this is a running back we could use. Tyler Algier appears to be his name. I think I'd just rather have picks. Although currently the pick that we acquired from the Bears is projected to be top 5. In a really, really good spot with that. We're going to trade a 5th in here to acquire a 2nd and a 3rd rounder from Cincinnati. Darnell Mooney, hate to see him go. Divine Diablo, hate to see him go. But 2 players that are 28 years old that I just wasn't planning on re-signing. They're not really going to get much better. We've still got to consider this a bit of a rebuild. We, have guys that we brought in from free agency like Brandon Cooks that can be at least serviceable. Darnell Mooney type production. And Eric Gibson, I think, can be a good player. The athleticism's really good. He's going to have to jump in and be a starter. He was a day 3 pick for us, but I think he's got day 2 plus type of talent, at least. And I think he's ready to be a starter. He's going to have to be. 8-4 at week 13, by the way. Starting to find it a little bit. But can we find a top 5 talent at wide receiver? There are round 1 talents, which that'll do. That'll play. We know we're pretty much in line to draft a receiver. It's just such a big need for us right now. Needs to be done. And we actually are a playoff team. We have the best offense in points per game, 26.4 per game. This is quite an upgrade over the previous season. And things didn't really start all that great. I mean, 3-1's a good start, but that quickly turns to 3-2. And then 4-3, and you're like, all right, it's a good team, but maybe not a great team. But I don't know, just continue to win enough games to get into the playoffs. 11 wins is nothing to sneeze at. And we'll take a look at the numbers. Ben Glover led the league in passing touchdowns, 2nd in the league in passing yards as a rookie. 42 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions. Rushing, Bijan was great. Whoa. He fumbled 5 times? Why? He's playing up to 99 carrying. Why is he fumbling so much? No idea. Receiving, wow, okay. Brandon Cooks was at the top of the league, I'm sure. 17 touchdowns, 1,200 yards. I imagine he was just in the slot. And I guess this is one of those playbooks where the slot receiver absolutely eats. I guess we could throw Drake London in there for the future. Brandon Cooks had a great year, but it didn't really do anything for anybody. There's no development to be had with Brandon Cooks. He's at the tail end of his career. He cannot get better than this. It's like, what's the point, in a way? Defense, Jacoby Dean was all over the field. 9 TFLs for Brandon Dorless and 9 sacks. 13.5 sacks for Jalen Walker. James Pierce is still not fully putting it together, but Walker is dominating. And then we did a decent job forcing turnovers as well. Had several interceptions in there, and we've done enough to at least earn a spot in the tournament. We'll see if we can beat the Packers and advance to the divisional round of the playoffs. Ben Glover, 3 skill points. I mean, how could he not? A Pro Bowl appearance as a rookie. Broke season record for passing touchdowns. I'm sure that's for rookies, of course. This is a dog. This is an incredible draft pick. 30 passing touchdowns on the season, but I mean 40 even as well. Just what a player. Well, our season's over. Better than missing the playoffs, I guess. We at least got to the game. But I think the turnaround is clearly here. We have our quarterback of the future. We actually have our quarterback of... like we have a franchise quarterback. We have our franchise quarterback. So it's not just the QB of the future. I think we've seen so much from him as a rookie. He's playing up to a 94 overall with morale, but playing up to a 94 overall as a rookie. He set the league on fire. Eagles win the Super Bowl, but Josh Allen wins NFL MVP. Ben Glover is your offensive rookie of the year. That Texans defensive tackle, Glenn Faulkner, I think is a beast already. It's an interesting thing because, like, my first comparison I jumped to is like J.J. Watt, right? But you don't really think of J.J. Watt as this interior defensive lineman, but he did play interior defensive line a lot. And he also rushed off the edge, a decent bit too. There's no denying that. But he was often an inside-outside type of guy. And Glenn Faulkner, could he not go into the J.J. Watt type of archetype here? Maybe a little bit heavier than J.J., lighter. But you know what? Really what it comes down to is just a good pass rusher that plays on the same team is probably where it starts and ends. But, you know, there's not a lot there. But their defensive line is ferocious. Are you kidding me? Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, Glenn Faulkner now. That's pretty good. And then even down here, they have Osa Odigizua they brought in. I'm sure Danico Autry's not around anymore, but Tier Tart. This is quite the squad. $117 million in available salary cap room. Obviously would like to bring back Matthew Bergeron, and now that he thinks that we're a Super Bowl contender, he actually wants to be here. So let's see if we can. If he declines this, we'll just franchise tag him. Guard is more expensive than it used to be, but to keep Matthew Bergeron around, I think that is probably worth it. And, I mean, Brandon Cook's up to superstar dev, but obviously can't bring him back. We're just going to continue to do what we've done, which is, you know, find players that can help this team on short-term deals. And if it warrants, find somebody on a long-term deal that can come in and play. But we need tackle pretty badly. No question about that. Drake London is down from superstar dev to star. Glover is up to superstar, although he should probably be an X factor already. And then defensively, Dax Hill is up to superstar, although AJ Terrell and Jesse Bates are down. But I think this defense is going to take another step up here. Maybe like Tennessee playbook or something. Okay, maybe not going to draft Alabama receiver Brandon Patterson. These are always negative stories now. Julian Giraldo, no show at the Combine, but that doesn't mean he's bad. Brett Rivers is apparently flying. There's a good defensive tackle in Texas Tech, Bobby Russell as well. Let's see what free agency has to offer. Zay Flowers would be a big upgrade. Would be a huge upgrade. Brian O'Neill would fill a huge role. Jordan Davis back to Georgia would be huge. I want the top 3 free agents. Brian O'Neill is not even getting offered right now. Would gladly sign him to a 3-year deal. And we have money. Can't take it with you. Let's offer on Zay Flowers at least. We're kind of already in the running out of money type of spot. But if we can get Jordan Davis, Zay Flowers, and Brian O'Neill, we're going to be in business. Now, I wish we could get Jalen Carter probably over Jordan Davis, but this is not bad. This would not be bad at all. Hey, how about that? 3 for 3 like I was going to say Derek Jeter, but let me make it Atlanta-themed. Chipper Jones. There you go. Pretty good day at the plate. Maybe a walk in there as well. But that's not bad. I mean, those are like our 3 biggest upgradable positions on the team, all upgraded. Starting right tackle, wide receiver 2, defensive tackle, number 1 now. Now this team's looking nice. Still want to add a receiver. Still probably want to add a defensive tackle. But I'm liking the team. We are here in the NFL draft. I didn't really do a great job of going over the potential prospects, but there is one in the top 5. It's interesting. It's Tomas Roman. Tom Roman. Out of Texas, hook him. He is an interesting player. Athleticism is just like whatever. But that's not all there is to playing receiver. Release isn't great. But I think this is our slot, mid-range kind of chain mover that can just eat in the intermediate ranges of the field. He's a top 5 talent. Kind of makes me think this draft class is not all that great. But I think we might make a move up. He's expected to go at number 2 to the Browns, but that's been a popular pick for a receiver recently. And the Jags traded down, or the Jags traded up and the Browns traded down. We're going to do a little Travis Hunter thing here. We have number 6, 51, 53, 3/3. We've been active. We've been getting busy. So what is it going to take for us to move up here? We're moving up for a receiver. He's reasonable. And we have 83, 84, and 85. Maybe I can package a player in here. All right, we're trading a lot of draft picks here to move up. But I don't know. Maybe it's worth it. Now that I'm seeing it, this is insane. We're trading a 1, a 2, 2 3s, 2 4s to move up from 6 to 2. You know what? Could we have traded for a star receiver with this pick? Absolutely. We're going to take Tomas Roman. I'll just call him Roman. Tomas Roman. He's the number 4 player in the draft. We got him at number 2. He's athletic enough, but he's 6'3", 210. He doesn't need to be an absolute burner down the field. Just get open, use your size, move the chains. Tomas Roman is the number 2 pick in the draft. We traded a lot to get him. He better be good. But Leon Felix here, another receiver to add to the mix. Slot receiver with great speed, elite acceleration. Could be a monster in the slot. Ranked number 36, got him at 51. He's got normal dev because of course he does. But the athleticism is really good. Don't know that he's going to end up making too much of an impact though. But receivers done. Zay Flowers, Leon Felix, and of course Roman at number 2. We are set on receiver. Defensive tackle is probably where we need to focus now. And you can find great value at defensive tackle down the board. And it's not even like great value players like Walmart brand, you know. They're actually really, really good players that can help us win. Jimmy Flores, very good athlete. Key ratings look really solid. And he's from Georgia. We're doing the Georgia thing, and that really is not a bad idea. Just stockpile Georgia talent. He's a first-round caliber player, ranked number 28. Got him at 83. Hidden dev, speed's good enough. Acceleration's very good. Strength is very good. Really nice pick. Nicholas Tucker. A, kick accuracy, A, awareness. Kick power is only marginal. He's actually the number 2 ranked player in the draft. We got him at 213. Normal dev, 87 kick power. It's like the same running back that same kicker that we drafted last year. But that's good. You got to have a kicker. An accurate one isn't a bad idea. Hey, we did all right. Roman is a 78 overall. Felix and Flores are both 74. Nicholas Tucker's a 79. I think that's doing pretty well for a first, second, third, and seventh round pick. Look at the overall of everybody in the draft. There was a really good safety, Anthony Auble. And then we got the number 2 player, and then Roman's right there as a top 5 guy. Not a crazy draft class. Brandon Patterson had a bad draft story. He does have normal dev, but when he is slow. But he's a high overall. Team looks fantastic going into year 3. I think our Super Bowl window is officially open. I think our defense is going to be really good. Would like to see Flores up to like an 80 overall, plus Gibson kind of in that same range, and then we're going to be cooking. But I think that's really possible. We'll hit training camp and hopefully put our team in a really good position to be successful this season. Should we pick up an actual fullback? I don't know. Maybe. Tony Pollard's here. It's a decent backup running back, to be honest. But, yeah, all right, you know what? We'll sign Tony Pollard. Midseason mark. Offense still good. Defense, middle of the pack. Went with Baltimore playbook, but we're as good as the Saints. We're the Saints, basically. That's great. Bijan needs a contract extension, as does Matthew Bergeron. Really not that many players in here. Bijan's just the big one. What's our cap situation looking like after him? Still have 60 mil. Bergeron maybe brings it down to 45 or so. And we can obviously afford to bring this back. Salary to bonus ratio is interesting, but Bijan Robinson returns. And then Matthew Bergeron. I'm looking at a 4-year extension. He should want to sign this. He just wants more money. Not a team player. Noted. I'm not really willing to commit to Braxton Jones long term. That sounds familiar. But a 2-year deal I think is reasonable to keep our starting left tackle. He isn't great, but it is tough to do a lot better. So sometimes you just got to lock it in. Tomas Roman is an 80 overall, star dev rookie. Hey, good player. I'm sure he's going to be very, very productive in the slot this year. He's, definitely a good selection, but was he worth moving all the way up for with star development? I don't know. Just kind of, dev trait is a luck thing, and I don't think we've drafted one superstar or higher player this video. Not that we've had a tremendous amount of picks, but it's been mostly normal and a few star dev players. Just kind of the way she goes sometimes. Glover, I know, is up to superstar now. He's incredible. I just don't think Penix could have ever been on the same level. Maybe I'm discounting his ability a little bit, but I feel like that's probably true. We'll simulate to the playoffs, expecting to be a playoff team. The offense will continue to put up points. Just a question of whether or not the defense can elevate above, a mid-tier type of level. Well, we are a playoff team, actually doing even better than we did last year. 12 wins, so our defense clearly locked in a little bit, and so did Ben Glover. About 4,400 yards passing, 43 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. This is a year 2 player. 22 years old. Best quarterback in the NFL. I'm willing to say it already. He's going to be playing up to a 99 overall. It is tough to do a whole lot better than that. It'd be cool if he had like high 90s speed, but hey, 90's pretty good still. We'll take that. Bijan still fumbling. I don't know why, but 6.5 yards per carry, 1,500 yards rushing, 18 touchdowns is great. Tomas Roman, 1,200 yards receiving, 17 touchdowns. That does seem like the type of player you go out and grab at number 2 overall. Because that 100% will be Offensive Rookie of the Year. And it may even be Offensive Player of the Year. I don't know about that far, but it could be close. Either way, it's a great rookie season. Our receiving core is certainly locked in. I know we're not exactly spreading the ball around a tremendous amount. It's mostly just one receiver as like the clear alpha, and then you have a guy who's he's involved but not too much, and then a drop off, and then Bijan Robinson. But I'm totally cool with that because I guess London had a good year, just didn't find the end zone quite as much. But I'm cool with getting Bijan Robinson involved. I wish that there was a way to get Ben Glover more involved as a runner. 3.6 yards per carry is just absolutely ridiculously bad, and it shows you how playbook dependent simulation stats are. He did have 7 touchdowns, but go look at some of the top yards per carry, or really any mobile-ish quarterback at all. It's a lot of yards per carry. Like, easily over 4. Easily. You're talking about 5, 6, 7? I don't know. Ben Glover, feel like he should be doing a bit more than 3.6 yards per carry. Did score 7 touchdowns, though, so 50 total touchdowns is a pretty good year. It's like Tim Tebow at Florida type stuff. James Pierce starting to find it a little bit more. 15 TFL, 7 sacks. Great season. Jalen Walker, double-digit sacks. Interior defensive line needs to do a bit more. AJ Terrell, 4 picks. Dax Hill pretty heavily involved as well. And maybe this time we'll finally win a playoff game. I say finally. We're not too deep into it, but obviously did not get the result we wanted last year. Still continuing to develop the team, though. It's not a one-year process, but I'd like to think that we're going to be able to beat the 49ers. The Deion Sanders Bowl. Niners, Falcons to get to the divisional for the first time. Yes, we win 31-19 playing the Packers. So our defense in terms of points per game is top 12, and the offense, again, is number 1. Let's jump in here. Home field advantage against Green Bay. I much prefer this to going to Lambeau. Kind of a stalemate so far. Packers ended with a field goal, but we take the lead with a touchdown. And into the third quarter now, trying to find ways to put points on the board. Finally, we're able to find the end zone again. 14-9. 3rd and goal. We're jumping in. Green Bay down to their final timeout. I just don't know how you're going to be able to stop us on the goal line here. I'm looking at Zay Flowers first, and that's going to be the guy. Trust in Zay Flowers. Touchdown, Zay Flowers. That's got to do it. That's got to be a playoff game 1. See if our defense can clutch up. And they can. 24-9 is your final. Took us a minute to get going, but our defense played great. And if the story of the entire season is that our offense is playing so well, and we're just trying to find a way to get our defense to kind of find it, well, they found it today. They limited the Packers and Jordan Love. Interception in there as well. Ben Glover was once again fantastic. Bijan was good on limited touches. Ben Glover fumbled. Drake London with a big day. Touchdown for Kyle Pitts and, of course, Zay Flowers. And then defensively, Brandon Dorlus, 1.5 sacks. Nakobe Dean in there as well. Dax Hill. And then Jesse Bates with the interception. Maybe it's not quite like Falcons franchise, if you remember that series. He was kind of a bum. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because the game is weird. Ratings don't really matter. The higher up the difficulty you turn it and change the sliders, the more that your players forget how to play football. But there's no happy medium. There's no... Sometimes your great players make plays and the other team can still move the ball. It's either, you know, you dominate them completely, it feels like. This will head out to Seattle. Or your players can't do anything. I really hope they can revamp everything, because I think the player versus CPU experience is really important in a game like Madden and in college football. And the simulation stats obviously continue to be super disappointing. And the player versus CPU gameplay is really disappointing. Like, there's no scenario where a player can play above their ratings. If they're not very good, they just suck. Never capable of making a good play. But on the higher difficulties, your entire team just sucks. It's tough to get a good competitive game. Seahawks take the lead with a Kenneth Walker 1-yard touchdown. Let's get a drive here in the NFC Championship. Let's see what we can do. Well, that's a big start. Ben Glover to Kyle Pitts for 19. Got to be mindful of the clock here, but I really wouldn't mind a quick score. Glover has so much speed. I want to be able to showcase that. If the whole angle is he is the next Michael Vick, well, he's got to be able to run. And maybe play it smarter than Michael Vick at some points. We'll slide. Roman in motion. Working off play action. Throwing on the run to Drake London, who makes a diving catch. Glover's got 221 through the air. Touchdown as well. And we are moving the ball right now. Bijan's obviously an option. I think we're going to score too quickly. Throw in the post to London. It's a dart and a dime to Drake London. London calling. 6 points here. The extra point will give us the tie here in the moment. And the defense will need to make a stop. It's scary right now. Seahawks just moved the chains. We're inside 2 minutes. They only need 3. And they're going to be in field goal range. Torrey Horton making a nice catch. We got to drive them out of field goal range. And we're going to have to start using timeouts as well. I mean, we're to the point where we actually may need to allow a touchdown in order to save the clock. But that needs to be a timeout. 1:20 to play. We are in deep, deep trouble. Shot down the field. Jesse Bates with the interception. This is nothing like Falcons franchise. What is Sam Darnold doing? Crumbling under the pressure of the moment. The one thing you absolutely cannot do, and I don't even know why the Seahawks are throwing the ball. The one thing you can't do is turn over the football. I'd love a replay sometime today. Sam Darnold throwing the ball down the field. I get taking a shot to JSN, totally. He never really found the football. Jesse Bates with the interception. And all we need to do is get into field goal range. Now, could be a little bit challenging kicking here in Seattle. That is a factor. We're going to check down to Bijan. Bijan is so nasty in the open field. 2nd and 1. Could even run the ball here. Read option's going to work well. 2nd and 1. Bijan to keep. Don't need to do anything crazy here. There's Kyle Pitts. He makes a nice catch and falls ahead. We're quickly approaching field goal range. We're going to have to call a timeout because I'm holding Y and they're like, you don't really want to hurry up, do you? Insanely stupid. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I'm holding Y the entire time. 42 seconds. Pitts is open. He'll make the catch. We're going to stay in bounds here. Got to remember this is not college football. So that clock will continue to run. But I'm okay with that as long as we can get into field goal range. And we're getting really, really close. There's Pitts. He'll make the catch and get out of bounds. With 21 seconds to go, the clock will stop. We might want to get this lined up. I kind of don't want to risk a miss, though. So we're still going to play for a touchdown, even though we're going to play a little bit conservatively. There's Bijan in the open field, getting disgusting. Clock's ticking. 7 seconds. 5 seconds. Bijan diving to get it lined up. There's the timeout. Seattle's going to try to ice us. Hey, it got close. It did get close. I won't discount that. Probably should have just called a timeout and then kicked from the other hash. But when they ice you, it gets so difficult to make these kicks. Wanted to get lined up so we don't even have to move the arc. We'll see if we can drill it. Ooh, I don't know if we nailed this. Here's the kick. It looks good because it is good. The Falcons win the bird battle with the Seahawks. And we'll head to the Super Bowl for the first time since if you thought I wasn't going to bring it up, here it is. Losing 28-3 to the New England Patriots. Well, losing 28-3. Losing a 28-3 lead. Obviously, that game went to overtime. Patriots won in OT. So for the first time since that monumental Super Bowl choke, the Falcons will have a chance to right their wrongs. 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns from Ben Glover. In just year 2, he has willed this team to the Super Bowl. It's an eerily similar career path to Patrick Mahomes in the fact that he's the best quarterback in the league in year 2. But other than that, not really. He started as a rookie. Mahomes played 1 game his rookie year. But either way, and then to the Super Bowl, you get what I'm saying. There are some parallels. Maybe it's not eerily similar. Here's what you can say. Some things are similar. That's maybe a more accurate statement. Falcons, Bills. Wow. Two teams searching for Super Bowl success. The Bills have never won one. And now they have an opportunity. They've made it through the AFC. First round bye, beat the Patriots, beat the Ravens. And here they are. Got some upgrades here. Eric Gibson's the interesting one. He's a starter. He's playing up to an 80. I really don't like an inside linebacker wearing number 92. I know he's technically a weak side linebacker, but he plays inside. Ben Glover is now a superstar X Factor. He won MVP. Of course, he won quarterback of the year. And the only thing lacking, I guess, is deep throw accurate. And his injury rating is absolutely awful. Oh, no, that's trucking. That's trucking. Okay. I'm like 37 injury. I don't think I've ever seen it so low. Because I haven't. At least not here. Super Bowl time. Looked like it started with an interception or a turnover of some sort. I don't like that. It's 14-0 quickly. Could have been a penalty, actually. We're on the board with 7. Buffalo offense is potent, but they've slowed down. Fourth quarter, we're tied at 14. And Buffalo and Jack Fox have just punted us the football back. I'm thinking it's Bijan Robinson time. Oh, boy. Okay, we're backed up to our own 5-yard line. Hopefully Bijan can make something happen. Here we go. Oh, he's got incredible burst, and there's Bijan! Kyle Pitts, get out of the way! What are you doing? Bijan only with 3 carries today. That feels like a problem. Please block that. Bijan might fall ahead and get this. Yep. Sliding on the back of some linemen. Bijan gets in a position. And we might look to run here, but we're going to get sacked. 2nd and 10. Like the Pitts route. I like the scramble even more. And there goes Glover. Making a play of 10 plus. That's going to bring us down to about the 2-minute warning. Might even just want to run the ball here. Although it is not Bijan Robinson. Okay, that's right. And there's Kyle Pitts, wide open over the middle of the field. That's the thing, when you have a lot of great athletes, you can just kind of out-athlete a team sometimes. Especially on these crossers. Matt Milano is just not catching up to that, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's the NFL, you got to be more than just athletic and fast. It's a real technical game at the high level. But when you can have those great athletes that are also good technically, you become a really tough team to beat. Drake London touchdown. London calling once again. It isn't the best because we could have taken more time off the clock and then just beat the Bills with a kick. We've given them a chance now, and that's slightly scary. Ooh, Josh Allen with a bullet. I think you maybe saw a receiver on the sideline, maybe an ex-teammate in there. Do we have any former Bill receivers? Was Kaderol Hodge a Bill? I don't really think so, but Josh Allen's getting sacked by Brandon Dorless. Ooh, that is a beautiful throw to Keon Coleman. Bills stay alive. Kaderol Hodge, never a Bill, by the way. Didn't think so. And now Allen's getting the ball out really quickly. Khalil Shakir has superstar X Factor. I don't know that we're going to be able to hang in coverage against these guys. Don't want to just get beat over the top, but maybe pressing isn't the worst idea here. We'll see. Hanging over the middle of the field. We're right. Nakobe Dean. Nice play, I guess. I mean, it's a nice play. Little does he know that it robbed the game-clinching, Super Bowl-clinching interception. But that's okay. That's got to be picked. Oh, okay, A.J. Terrell knocks it down. 4th and 10. Super Bowl on the line for Buffalo. We're going quarters. I'm, like, slightly afraid about that, but it's just a check down. James Cook, broken tackle. Hit him! He's short! Game over! The Bills can only stop the clock one time, which means the Atlanta Falcons are Super Bowl champions. The Falcons have finally won it all. So devastating after that 23 or 28-3 complete choke job. We got to call it what it is. But we battled back, and in 3 seasons, we'll be able to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. It did take getting rid of Michael Penix Jr., and I think we made the right decision in the end. Ben Glover is just different. Also, you know what would be neat for the draft class generators? How about seeing a junior in there every once in a while? Junior's not that uncommon. See a lot of juniors. And there are no juniors ever in the auto-generated draft classes. There's no Ben Glover Jr. or the second or whatever. And I mean, obviously, like Odell comes to mind. But there are a lot of other examples. There are even some seniors that you see. Like Isaiah Rodgers Sr. now is what he goes by. So, I don't know. It's just an idea. It's not make or break. Great quarterbacking in this one, but Ben Glover was just a bit better. 15 for 19, 232, 3 touchdowns. And I don't know why this team does not like giving Bijan the ball in Sim. But the Sim engine's totally different in Super Sim versus what you're actually getting in the regular season. Jalen Walker, 2 sacks. Jordan Davis played great. Brandon Dorlus with a sack. Awesome game. Let's run it back. Season recap. Pretty good year for Ben Glover. And I think this is a Mahomes thing as well. NFL MVP and Super Bowl MVP in the same year. In year 2, I think that happened, right? Tomas Roman is your offensive rookie of the year. Saying Tomas Roman sounds interesting. But it doesn't really matter. He's having a great season. Obviously, it's over now. He's having a great start to his career. Hopefully, we can just add another piece or 2 in free agency. We have $60 million. We have the opportunity to get better here. And on the offensive line is where that needs to happen. And Rahman is up to Superstar Dev. Matthew Bergeron is gone. We don't have a center. Tackle's okay. And then defensively, Dax Hill up to X Factor. We need more on the interior defensive line. AJ Terrell back up to Superstar. Could use depth at corner. Free agency looks pretty good. Don't need Jahmyr Gibbs. Don't really need Xavier McKinney. Vita Vea. Be a great nose tackle add. A little bit redundant with Jordan Davis. But he'd be a very good player. And I think this is the type of 1-year deal we'd be interested in. Vita Vea as a rental, as a mercenary interior defensive lineman for a Super Bowl run. So Raiders going all out. Okay, never mind. We're going to offer Kingsley Suamataia as well as Elton Jenkins. I think we should be able to get Jenkins, but I wonder about the rest. I'm guessing Vita Vea is a Raider. Suamataia is gone. We do bring in Elton Jenkins. Kind of a typical sign for me in free agency over these past few years. Matthew Bergeron is in free agency. He wants to be here, or so he says, but he declines every offer I've ever made to him. So make up your mind. Ooh, Longhorn legend Poona Ford, but Brian Brzee offering a bit more pass rush. I'm thinking him on a 2-year contract. Still might draft a defensive tackle. And, I mean, Brzee should be pretty easy here. I think we should get Bergeron as well. And they both sign. We've upgraded at center. We've upgraded at left guard by bringing our left guard back. He kept declining our extensions. Kyle Pitts up to Superstar Dev. Things are looking good. Offensive line is as good as it has been. And then defensively, I wish the interior defensive line was a bit better. But this is a really good team. Might draft a corner. See that happening? NFL draft time. We finally have our actual pick here in the draft. And I really don't intend on moving it. We're going to be at 32. Mick Rutherford is a top 5 talent. Actually looks insane. But there's Tim Allen. We might need to make a move for Tim Allen. All right, at 32, what can we actually do here? I said potentially draft a corner. There are some running backs that could be decent. Obviously not really under heavy consideration. We could just use more depth at corner. Ooh. Not good. Keelan Cunningham appears to be an option. A pretty horrendous group of guys out here. Trading number 32, a third and a future fifth for Lionel Rice. He's a good young corner, superstar dev for the Steelers. They can get a second first-round pick in there, and we'll pick at number 64 overall. This might be a corner again. I just think we could use the depth there for sure. There's some decent players available. No one especially good. And that other corner that we like the look of is not available either. Jonathan Hughes, round 1 to 2 talent. Can't shed blocks. Oh, he's a round 1 to 2 projection. He's got 90 speed out of Wisconsin. I thought that said true talent. Not really an awful pick, but could have been better maybe. Or maybe it couldn't have been. Who knows? Draft recap. Jonathan Hughes is a 72. Not too bad for the last pick of the second round. And we'll see what the actual draft class looked like. Rutherford was a 79. That's quite good. Really good right tackle, Marco Colon. But not really that stacked of a draft class. And this will be the team for the final year in a really, really good spot overall. I'm confident that we can run it back. I feel good about it. I mean, corner is upgraded now. You know, I feel like this team certainly has what it takes to be a repeat champion. I wish Jalen Walker and James Pierce could have been, you know, like bigger stars over the course of this, just in terms of like getting superstar dev. Plus 6 power moves is insane, okay? Getting superstar dev or being mid to high 90s overall type players. And while they didn't ever get into that range, Jalen Walker's got a chance to go 90 plus. Still so young. Jalen Walker's insanely talented here. It's just like awareness maybe. And play rec, making him not a 90 plus at this point, because the ability is absolutely there. Extremely well-rounded, but I'm really happy with the team that we've built. I think we can simulate straight to the playoffs. I highly expect this to be a playoff team. I don't know if we're going to go 16-0, but 13-14 wins seems pretty feasible. Maybe even 15. And we do end up going 13-4. Kind of where I expected this team to be. First offense in the NFL. Another great year for Ben Glover, 4,700 yards passing, 45 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. Bijan finally didn't fumble. Had a very nice year overall, 12 touchdowns, 1,400 yards rushing. Tomas Roman was insane. Drake London was awesome. Zay Flowers and Kyle Pitts playing their role, but I mean, these are fantastic numbers. London, really good to see that type of production. TFL's 13 for Jalen Walker, and he and James Pierce both posted double-digit sacks. Great season for Eddie Feliciano, by the way. Okay. Interceptions, 6 for A.J. Terrell. What a year for this Falcons team. Now, will we be able to go on that playoff run? I will say, anytime it feels like, you know, too good to be true, how could we ever lose? Who's going to beat us? That's typically when our season ends in a hurry. Carolina Panthers will not beat us. We're in the NFC Championship. Falcons, Vikings. Again, 2 more bad luck Super Bowl teams. The Vikings, like the Bills, also lost 4 Super Bowls. I don't think in a row, but 4 overall. We're going to simulate to the Super Bowl and see if we're once again playing for it all. I said we were going to go back-to-back. I felt confident in that, and it was a mistake. It was a mistake. Vikings get it done. How does this happen, dude? The Vikings win 29-19. Not exactly what you like to see, but that's going to do it for this video, guys. This was a fun rebuild to do. We went crazy. X Factor for Roman and Pitts. I think we really brought in the next Michael Vick. Ben Glover is 99s across the board, basically, at this point. He is a truly incredible player. I know people probably wanted me to do the Michael Penix thing, and I get it. I might need some type of medication because my Penix is not working here in Atlanta. Ben Glover had to be the guy. He is a true 99 overall. You can't upgrade this guy. He is simply as good as it gets. You can upgrade him actually one more time in Scrambler. Maybe even twice more. But he's a 99 overall. Would Penix be a 99? It's a possibility, but this is pretty good. Throw power and speed, as you can see, never got upgraded. That's why you got to get the athletes when you can. Ben Glover, certainly that. #1 quarterback in the league. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.